Hi, welcome back to VW Farm. It is a gorgeous 40-degree day outside. Nice good taste of spring for almost the end of February. Couple updates I wanted to give on the Massey Motor Rebuild. The motor's at the machine shop. I had my motor friend come over and he took a closer look. Turns out the crankshaft needed ground. The cylinder walls needed honed, and I figured, well, I'm just going to take it to the machine shop. They're going to degrease it, resurface the head, cylinder hone, and degrease it again for me. So we're just waiting on them to come back. It's been there for a little bit now. They should be getting back to me hopefully this week or next. A couple of the parts are on back order, so I'm not in a huge rush to get it. But to the untrained eye, I was looking at it and I thought everything was good. I'm really glad I had my motor friend come over and just take a look at it. It's all a learning experience for me. Today's video, though, we're gonna tear apart this carburetor. We're gonna clean it. I have a rebuild kit for it, and let's get started. The very first thing I do when I do carburetors is just lay down some shop dowels. This is just going to be a nice clean surface for us to work on. This is a Marvel Schebler carburetor. I also have my repair manual set up over here. First thing we're going to do is take the top off the bottom by unscrewing these 4 screws. Okay, so we're just going to separate the carburetor. The reservoir where the gas sits, it's a little rusty. We're going to get that taken care of. Here's the float, and there's a pin here for the hinge. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but inside there's a little needle and seat. Basically, the gas will come in, and it'll dribble out of this. And as the gas rises, it'll raise the float and seal the needle against the seat and stop the gas flow so it doesn't leak out all over. So according to the book, pull the hinge pin and remove the float. So we're just going to pull the hinge pin. We're going to remove the float. There's that little needle I was telling you about. We're going to put that aside. I'm just shaking to hear if anything's rattling, if there's any fluid in there. It sounds good. Remove the power jet plug with the large screwdriver and turn out the main discharge tube. So that is right here on the bottom of the carburetor. Right there. We're going to just pull that. This is our jet. Not sure if the camera will pick it up or not, but there is a little bit of crud on the jet. Yeah, it's not going to pick it up. Now we're going to remove the discharge tube. You want to be careful removing this discharge tube. Sometimes they don't want to come out, and I've stripped them out. I've broken carburetors trying to get them out. It's not worth it. But here's our discharge tube. It's brass, it's all soft brass. And it's not worth stripping it out. A lot of times that I find the threads will seize in the carburetor, and you'll strip this out right here, and it's just a slot, you'll never get it out. Alright, next step is to remove the top 2 screws from the choke valve and pull the choke valve out with a set of pliers. So our choke valve, it's that little butterfly in there. We're going to flip it over, and there's 2 screws inside, and we're going to remove those 2 screws. The choke valve just fell out. Just a little piece of brass. For the disassembly, all the parts except the gasket should be immersed in a suitable carburetor cleaner or varnish solvent until all deposits are removed. I'm just going to do one other thing. This is our bowl plug, so you can actually empty the gas out without tearing all the carburetor apart. I'm just going to pull that out as well. And I'm going to pull our idle screw out. I'm going to pull this seat out. I have to get a larger screwdriver. Okay, I removed the Venturi tube. I also removed the gasket, and here is the seat for the needle. This is what stops the gas flow. So let's get some carb cleaner and get these cleaned up. Alright, I dipped the carburetor and then I sprayed it off with some carb cleaner. It really came out spectacular. Still a little bit grimy, but not a big deal. We're going to scrape out that bowl a little bit more and scrape out this. Right now I'm just drying everything off and getting everything ready. Okay, here's the carburetor kit. What I'm going to do is lay down a new piece of cloth here so we can do the reassembly. So we have our new bowl gasket. We have our new manifold gasket. We have a new needle, seat, gasket, and clip. And we have a couple new parts here. We put our new felt in there. Now it's time for our choke lever. We put our bracket back on. We put our spring back on, so we have a spring return on our choke lever. Now it's time to get our butterfly back in there. There we go. Now, since it's on a spring, we kind of have to hold it, so we're going to get our screw, get it started here. There we go. Just a little bit of patience. There we go. Check, make sure our movement's good. Everything looks good. So now we're going to remove our throttle plate so we can replace that felt. And there's a felt and a brass ring right here. Install our new felt. Install our new brass cup. So it's right there's our brass plug and our new felt's in there. We're going to take our throttle shaft, carefully thread it through. We're going to take our throttle plate, slide it down in. We have to line up that screw hole. We're going to take our screw. Ooh, got lucky there. Fell right in. And we're just going to tighten that down to the throttle plate. Don't want to over tighten it. There. Check, make sure everything moves freely. This is our main jet. We have to put an O-ring on this ridge here, and then this back here gets a gasket. So here's our new O-ring. Get that on there, and then we have to match up our gasket. Alright, let's take our throttle tube, drop that in there, and snug it into place. And then our main jet goes in. Okay, let's put our plug back in for our fuel drain. That does that one. Time to do our float, our needle and seat. Just make sure it's all cleared. Comes with a new washer. We're going to screw this in. So to check our float height, we're going to take our measuring tool. It needs to be 1/4 inch from this machine surface to the float. And it's 1/4 inch. Alright, now that we checked our height, we're going to take our Venturi. We're going to put that inside. We're going to take our gasket, put that on top. We're going to take our float with our needle, set that inside, and then we're going to take our hinge pin and carefully slide that through. We're going to double check that it'll come down on its own and seal, which it looks like it will. So now we're going to take our bowl and we're just going to mesh it up. And we're going to take our 4 screws, and get them started, and then we can tighten the top down, and then we'll put the jet in, or the idle screw in. There. So we're going to take our spring, we're going to take our idle screw, and we're going to screw it in just until it seats against the carburetor. We don't want to damage the screw. So now we're going to back it out 1, 2, 3, 1.5 full turns, and there we go. We have a carburetor all put back together, ready for some paint. She probably needs some good paint, a little bit of love. Well, there you have it, a simple carburetor rebuild. Like I said, as soon as I hear back from the machine shop, we will get the motor back on the stand and start putting that back together. As soon as I get the parts off of back order, I just checked today, and they look like they're on their way. Hopefully soon. The back order report said that they're going to be in relatively in a few days. One thing I need to work on probably is get some better lighting in here. One thing at a time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel, share this video around, and until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.